Okay, welcome, everybody. I'm so excited that you're here. This is our 2-day Create Your Vision for 2024 retreat. I call it a retreat because I like to keep you in flow. I'm not a real hard, fast kind of goals girl, but I do have that logical part of my brain that tracks numbers and all those things because some of you are in the content creation plan. And if you read my integration and feedback emails, you know that you have to be testing and tweaking engagement, open rates, those kinds of things. So I guess it was last year, like I've always set goals to a certain extent. But the thing about goals, raise your hand if you agree, goals really mess you up because we tend to set these gigantic goals. Everybody tells you reach for the sky. And then you reach you set this big goal. Oh, I'm going to make 500,000 this year. And you make 50,000. And then you think, well, all these other people are doing it, but guess what? They're really not doing it. But goals can make you feel bad and they can make you feel beat up, right? Or beat yourself up. So I say just, go gentle on yourself. Goals provide a direction. And I know some people don't even like the term goals. So you can call them intentions. To me, a goal is a way to direct your energy. And I do use the word goal because it has a certain meaning to it. I mean, you should be intentional with everything you do, but a goal is really something that we are working toward for the future. And we all have a vision for our future, and there's a reason our vision is for our future, right? I mean, we're not going to manifest it tomorrow. We've got to take the aligned actions and do the right things to stay on the path to get to that vision. And things can happen really, really fast. And you always have to be prepared for that. They can also happen really, really slow. But when they're happening slow, when it seems like they're not coming, then you're just not ready yet. And you have to keep doing the things that are getting you ready for that big vision. And I'm going to tell a quick story. Now, Leah Beth knows this story, but this was a crappy year for a lot of people in business. Now, January came, it's my birthday. I didn't worry too much that it was slow. I offer human design readings in January in honor of my birthday. 1/11 is my birthday, 1/11. And so it was slow, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it's January. Things slow down around the holidays. It'll pick up. And then February came. Never picked up. March came. I launched my program that was very successful in 2022. Crickets. And then I launched it again, I think the next month. Again, crickets. Now, in 2022, I filled it twice. No problem. Just with emails and a simple PDF invitation letter. Because I learned this process. I wanted to test the process. The process works great, but it didn't work so great in 2023. And we'll get into why that is. But the other thing that happened to me is from June 17th on, my life just got chaotic. Now, it turned out to be better than I could imagine because in 2022, I had water damage to my house. 2023 was the year that I got all the money from the insurance company. I have a brand new kitchen that I have been manifesting for 10 years. I kid you not, my vision is real right now. I'm back teaching yoga, which was part of my vision in my Lululemon pants. I mean, it really did manifest the way I imagined it, but it took 10 years. And when I think about it, I was not ready for a new kitchen. If I had taken that on myself, I had no experience with that, but I met my goal in a sense. It just came in a different way. So you always have to be open for what the universe is going to deliver to you, but you still have to do the actions and have the vision, set your goals so you do direct your energy toward that. I mean, my kitchen was on my vision board since 2018, and I didn't realize it was 10 years, but I came across some journals from 10 years ago, and my perfect day included me standing there in my state of the art kitchen kissing my honey goodbye to go to yoga class in my Lululemon clothes. And guess what? I was invited to come back to teach yoga. I've got the Lululemon really nice yoga pants. The only thing that's missing is I leave the house to go get into my white BMW, and that has not manifested yet. So that's next. So that's my way of, that's how I feel about goals. It's more about manifesting, but you do have to take aligned action and get very, very clear on what you want in order to manifest what you want. And then oftentimes the universe will deliver you something better than you can even imagine. Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. That's really the frequency, the vibration of this retreat. And I want to hear from you. So everybody's going to have 60 seconds, and I want you to say your name, where you're from, a little bit about what you do, and why you chose to be here. I mean, what is your feeling around goals? Okay, or setting your intention. So, Leah Beth, since you're the since you're the more experienced, would you like to go first?
Oh, sure. Can you hear me okay? I have
Yes,
my
and I have to
AirPods on.
apologize too. I just want to say that my headphones are not working, so it might sound a little tinny, but that's
No,
how
it
it's going to
it
be today.
it doesn't. I just hadn't used my AirPods on the Zoom meetings lately, so I was like, okay, I can't
Yeah,
tell for sure if it
I
sounds
couldn't.
okay.
I could not get my. Maybe you can help me at some point, but not today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, hey, I'm
Okay, so we're
Leah
going to have
Beth.
1 minute each, and I'm going to hold my finger up like this, so then you know that your time is up.
You're
Okay,
gonna give us the finger,
I'm
huh?
going to give you the finger. If it were baseball, I'd be doing this for the ring.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. So I'm Leah Beth Ledoux. The name of my business is Earth Angel Tools. I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico, actually Lamy, but nobody knows where Lamy is. So Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I am working on growing my spiritual business. I am, I was kind of laughing because Bethany said, you know, what direction do you want to go? And it's kind of a Swiss Army knife. What I do is I help people. I'm a soul realignment practitioner, but I do, of course, my own version of it. And I help people learn who they are at soul level, so that they can align with that better and to create the life that they want. We also go over blocks and restrictions that they created. Oh, come on, that they created over multiple lifetimes. So that's what I do, and I'm growing my spiritual business.
So, Leah Beth,
Fun.
what do you
Uh-huh.
hope to get out of today?
A little bit more focus. I need to, you know, uh, finish and complete. I need to focus so that I can finish and complete these projects that are, I'm holding myself back from being the success, the financial success that I should be. And so I can put all kinds of goals about. I've been a realtor forever too, by the way, and so I learned goal setting and all that, and I'm with you about the frustration thing, you know. But what I want to do is dive down a little bit deeper and get more focused about completion and doing the things that'll make me really successful.
Okay, great. Love that. Okay. All right. Thank you. Um, Bethany, would you like to go, or Caroline? I mean, are you ready? I always go by order of who came on first, so that's the way I roll, just so you know.
Okay, I'm Bethany. I am in Seattle, Washington, and my business is I Get a Kick Out of Woo, and I am an intuitive ascension coach. I'm also an energy healer and a channeler. I'm an open channel. And what I do, and my energetic signature does this automatically, and so now I am consciously doing it, is I help people. I see where you are supposed to go, where your soul wants to go, the direction it wants to go, and I help people who are stuck or lost or simply not, they're at a chasm and they can't see how to get to the other side. They can see something on the other side and they know they want to go. So I help people quantum leap over that chasm by showing them their past and their future together and what their soul is actually here to do and learn and how it wants to grow and expand. And then I have the energy healing tools to heal limiting beliefs or undo blocks or obstacles and to get them to where they need to go. And my goal with my clients is, I call it kind of a one and done. Like, I really just want you to get over this current chasm. And then you've got the power, right? You've got your own power inside you. You move on. And so my goal is not to have a client for 10 years, right? My goal is, let's get you to where you need to go next. And then you'll find another teacher. And then today I am so good at so many things and I love so many things. I'm interested in so many things. So I really just need to simplify, pick one or two things, work on for 2024. And if other stuff comes, great. But assume that, like Leah Beth, let's just get it started. Oh, but get it finished, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Okay. Very good. And that is my human design. I have a lot of initiating energy, but I also have the finishing energy. So I get things done, and that's how I help people. Okay, very good, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, Caroline, you are up.
Good morning, Caroline Phillip. I'm from Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. If you don't know where that is, if you've heard of the Calgary Stampede, I'm just a couple of hours away from there. My name of my business is Studio of Healing and Illumination. And so I'm kind of all things energy. I've been working with energy in some form or another for decades already, but now I've got the certifications and so forth to support that better. And in particularly recently, my work has been much through informed through the lens trauma and helping people to be aware of how that's creating dysfunction in their life and helping to not only clear that but rewrite those stories and help them to be more empowered as they move forward in their life. And what I in thinking about what Bethany's doing, what's really helped me in terms of the variety of tools that I have access to is some things you need a knife, sometimes you need a spoon, sometimes you need a fork. And so that's the beauty. I use muscle testing all the time, working with subconscious in terms of what identifying people's highest priorities, what their body's highest priority is, and working from there. So therefore, I don't need to know a whole lot, and I'm not trying to figure it out for them. I'm using their body and tapping into that to guide their purpose. And the reason I'm here is I have a sense that maybe I'm playing small, coming up with excuses of why why I'm not getting out there more and so forth. And in particular here today, I can tend to hit that procrastination block when something really important is coming up. And so I think this will help me in terms of accountability.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, great. So I just have a couple quick questions. So Leah Beth, I know her offers. She's got longer term offers. Bethany, you said that you want your clients to not work with you forever, but what is a typical offer for you? Is it a one and done?
I have multiple tiers that I'm working with. So I have some lower priced options that people can do on their own to kind of wet their whistle. But when it comes working one-on-one with me, I don't have a set offer yet because I've been doing it with clients, word of mouth. And what I'm finding is it usually takes about 6 months of some regular meetings for them. And I, yeah, okay. I get them started and they kind of take their time. And so it's usually about 6 months of
Okay.
them feeling like they can move on without me. That's what I am envisioning, is about a 6 month, but it may not be, 6 monthly meetings. It might only be 2 meetings over the course of 6 months. It
Okay, all right, but
varies.
that's good to know. So, I just wanted to know the length of the
Yes.
transformation. And how about you, Caroline?
Um, right now, my clients tend to buy 3 session packages and then they'll renew that.
Mhm.
And so that tends to be sort of the most common. I would love to have a client that's committed to doing like a 3 month package and to really get into it. And the analogy I like to use is energy likes momentum. And once you get started, if you stay on top of it, you can really make a lot more progress than kind of periodically popping in. Doesn't mean it doesn't work, but that would be really wonderful if I was actually able to get somebody that signed up for a 3 or 6 month package.
So, do you mind telling me what the price point is for the 3 session package?
3 session, around 250 Canadian.
And then do you do those like close together?
It depends on the person, what they're going through. And that's what I'm finding. Sometimes life gets in the way, and so it gets dragged on. It could sometimes be over a period of 3 months. It starts maybe close together and then doesn't happen for a while. So, yeah, that's one that's a little bit challenging for me, is I want to nudge them and say, let's stay on top of this. And sometimes, yeah, it's negotiating with them. But I do find, like, I've yet to find anybody that I've worked with that doesn't want to renew and get more sessions. So that's positive. They're finding the results. For a lot of people, and maybe that's just who I'm attracting right now in terms of where I was previously in life, is people where the finances aren't quite there. So I'd like to tap into more of that professional pool, and that's why I did that promotion. It was just in November, trying to reach out more to the professional stream, but haven't received anything back on that yet.
Right.
Thinking hopefully it's just planting seeds, and I think that's where I could really make the biggest difference. We'll
Yeah,
see.
and so there's also follow-up too. So you planted the seed and then you follow up. But we're going to talk about this more tomorrow, but it always helps me to know how you're delivering your services too. And there are trends nowadays too that we can talk about in offers and of course with marketing. So tomorrow we'll focus more on the marketing. Okay, so we're going to do a couple exercises today. And the first one we're going to do just to get our brain in balance, and Leah Beth has done this, but this is just to keep us grounded. And then we're going to get, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but sit in your chair, feel your seat below your seat, and it's going to take 2 minutes. So this is called a self hug. Maybe you've done it before, but what it does is it balances your left, right brain so they work together. So you're drawing from both sides of your brain. Okay. So you're going to extend your arms straight forward and then bring your palms together. You're crossing your wrist, interlace your fingers, and then just bring your arms up. Keep them close to your heart. Feet are flat. Close your eyes, and you're going to let your tongue touch the roof of your mouth. And just breathe. We're just going to hold this for 2 minutes. It's going to help us get grounded and just clear our space, clear our minds. Make your mind a blank slate. But let the both hemispheres of your brain communicate with one another and activate one another. So I also like to do this just to activate the higher form of intelligence, higher guidance. We all channel, but sometimes when our minds are so busy, we miss what's coming through. Okay, let's take one more breath. Big exhale. Open your eyes. And let's just bring our fingertips together, the pads of our fingertips. If you want, bring your thumb onto your heart. Close your eyes. And we'll just stay here for a couple seconds, just for a little bit more grounding. Okay, very good. Open your eyes. Just shake out your hands, maybe move your body a little bit. Get that energy flowing. Good. Okay, does everybody have a journal or notebook to write with? All right, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time with this, and if you're older, then you might not have a whole lot to write down, but I want you to think 5 years from now. What is your bigger vision on December 18th, 2028? Where do you see yourself? We always come from the lens of who are you being? The be, do, have, right? Who you be determines what you do and what you have. So just a couple sentences. In 5 years, my vision is to, and this can be about your business. It's always about your life. Okay, everybody got that? Okay. Now we're going to back it up a little bit, and we're going to get a little bit more real with our 3-year vision. Now, remember, how does this go? We often underestimate what we can accomplish in 3 years and overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year. So just take a minute to write down your vision 3 years from now, December 18th, 2026. Who are you being? What do you have? What are you doing? Who are you with? What does your business look like? Because in 3 years, most likely you will still be in business in one way or another. Who are you serving? Are you serving anyone? Okay, would anyone like to share quickly? One thing? Just one
Goodness.
thing, 3 years. Mine is passive income, making money with my book. So,
Well, that's pretty much what mine is too, actually, that with my Oracle card sets, my classes, my healing courses, and books.
and you're selling those without you actually teaching them? Okay, good.
Yes.
All right. Bethany and Caroline, how about you?
Well, passive income definitely, and I want to create a bunch of. I've already started some DIY courses. I have a lot of, information that could be useful that doesn't require one-on-one time with me, and so that means I can serve more people, right? And so I want more of those available as
Okay.
passive income, where I don't have to have live sessions or, be on maybe a Q&A call once in a while or something. So a little more self-sustaining without my attention.
Okay, yeah, sustainability is really key here, and also scaling. So that's really what we're going for here. How about you, Caroline?
I'll mention a few if that's okay. The out to 2028, that for me, that's approaching 70 years old. So I just thought, what does that really look like? And for me, freedom was an important part of that. So primarily doing work that is remote, not much in person in terms of that, and scaling down in terms of how many clients I would actually maybe want to see. But with remote, that offers me a great lot of flexibility. But at the 3 year mark, the one that it surprised it landed on my page, and I hadn't really thought about it, is doing presentations. So reaching a broader audience in terms of educational pieces, not necessarily just the one-on-one therapeutic work that I do. But in terms of listening to the three of you, one piece that's missing in mine is passive income.
Yeah, so I like that you said presentations, because that's how you establish your thought leadership. And then you obviously attract more clients that way, higher paying clients. So that's really what the theme is here. How do you get to scale? Scaling is, to me, is less input for more output. So it's not about doing more, it's about doing less. Now, as far as Bethany, with all those DIY courses, that's great. They take a lot of work to be sustainable. All the I mean, I've got tons of courses. If I had to do it again, I probably would not, but it's another story. Okay, so that's good. It's good that you have this vision, because we're going to bring it down to your 1 year vision, and we're going to start the planning process. I think we're probably going to go for, an entire 90 minutes, but this is interactive. So when you plan out your year, just a few things, and we're going to do this for your 1 year vision. But let's talk about the nuts and bolts of planning. The way I like to plan is, does everybody have and I just threw mine away because I need to buy a new one. Does everybody have like a whiteboard that you map out your dates and plans and things like that? It's always a good idea to have one of those magnetic whiteboards. I kind of mess mine up with permanent marker. So I'm like, I got to get rid of this and start.
Carol Ann, oh my
Yeah, I know,
God.
I know. I know. But so on a practical note though, I do have a law of attraction planner, which I love. And I used to use the 8.5 by 11 size, the larger size. And by accident, I ordered the smaller one, but it's so much better for me because with the longer one, the larger one, there was more space to write a longer to-do list. And I was filling that out. I mean, my original planner that I used was a different type. Excuse me, different type, and it had space for 15 tasks every day. And I was writing down 15 tasks to complete every day. So now I love this. I mean, it's all about manifesting and measuring, and I don't take advantage of it as much as I should, but it does allow me to just write down my 6 things every day. I map out my week. I have my own way of, putting my things in here. I have 6 categories. One is always offers, marketing, content, client delivery, personal, and social, because I've got doctor's appointments. You've got to pay your bills. You've got to do all those things, right? And they take time out of your life. So you've got to keep it real, be realistic about what your day can actually look like for your business. I believe in working, and now this is all personal thing, but I work 4 hours a day. And I will allow myself to take a day off if my friends are getting together because they're all retired, but they don't have their own business, right? So I have a lot more freedom. And so I keep working. So 4 hours a day, at least 4 days a week. And I will work on the weekends, but I work up to 4 hours. And that's more of a personal nature or a catch-up nature. So 4 hours a day. And then on the front end of that, I will check emails, do what I need to do. And on the end of that, I will check emails again and kind of close out my day. And I got this from the 12-week year. I worked with a mindset coach back in, I think, 2018, and he was big on it. And so I had these, and what we're doing today is kind of based on that, but he had these spreadsheets, and I would map out my goals and my task for the week and the day and everything. And he does say to block out like 3 hours a week for creativity. I create all the time, so that's not an issue. And then maybe one day do something different. But what happened was I was so caught up in doing these, because I'm a designer, originally, and we don't really gel much with Excel spreadsheets and that sort of thing. So I went to a spiritual gathering, and I got 3 different people gave me the same message, that they see me doing too much of this and that I need to get out into nature. So I basically threw away that plan, and I just used my law of attraction planner. And that's where I put all the details, the 6 tasks a day. And then I also have an electronic calendar. You always want to make sure that you put all your client delivery appointments there, block out that time so nobody else gets on your calendar, because then that causes issues. All your appointments. I also have this larger calendar that's, just a little bit bigger, and I can see the entire month, and I also can see the year. But the first thing you want to do when you create any plan is you want to block out your personal time. Vacation. I mean, I basically end my year tomorrow because I still have to go grocery shopping, Christmas shopping, all that stuff. And I know I'm last minute, but I was a college professor for 10 years, and I got into the habit of waiting till the semester was over to really even start my Christmas. And I need to break that habit, but some habits are hard to break. I'm a last minute person, but really, block those off first. And we're going to work in quarters. So does everybody have the worksheet? Did you print it out? Okay. So what I suggest, if you have it in front of you, I may go in and make some tweaks because, as I mentioned, I was working on this up until I sent it to you. So I'm sure there are bound to be some mistakes here. But this is really your guide for the next 12 months. And the way I like to do this is the big rocks. What are the big rocks? Big rocks are 3 main goals that you want to achieve. And yes, this doesn't mean that you know what we didn't do yet? We didn't, okay, I want to take, before we get into this, I want to take a couple minutes just to do some releasing, because we don't want to release what didn't work in 2023. We don't need to carry that over, but we do need to course correct. So I just want to know from you, I'll go first. So for me, when I look at my goals from last year, my thing now is assets. I course corrected. I have a course, which I didn't plan on. I have a new lead magnet. I started a website, so I completed 2. I'm in the process of doing others that I didn't plan out for, that weren't on my plan in January. What didn't work though is I launched my program, High End Messaging, which I mentioned was successful in 2022, not in 2023. That was on my assets list to create the foundational pieces of that course, to standardize it, and also to create marketing assets for that course. So those things didn't work. So I will be carrying those over to 2023. What I don't have to worry about now is my house, which is a personal thing. I released my mastermind. I'm rebranding, so I'm not really switching my niche so much. It's really the same niche. I'm just claiming it a little bit more. But those are the things from 2023 that I am bringing into 2024. I wrote a book, which I didn't plan on doing, didn't publish it, so I'm bringing that into 2024. So just jot down, and I'd love for you to share, jot down what you're releasing and then what you're bringing into 2024. Okay, would anyone like to share real quick? Bethany?
So I guess what I'm releasing is this need for certification and education. Like, I feel like I'm done with that. I'm
Yes,
good.
good.
I've got
for you.
enough. Stuff may come up and I'll do it if it feels really good, but for the most part, I'm releasing that.
I have a lot to say about that, but go ahead.
I've already spoken about, I have so many options for offerings. So I want to release, I don't want to keep reinventing the wheel each time I'd like to standardize, systematize. I have a lot of Capricorn energy and Virgo energy. I can do that. I just haven't. Right. And so, yes, that's what I want to let go of. And then I want to let go of all of the emotional and spiritual baggage around free versus paid. Because I do have a calling on my heart to give stuff away for free, but I need to manage it because it's not, for me, it's not about the money. Money comes in when it's ready, right? It's about service. And so, but I need to frame it that way instead of, oh, I got to charge, or, oh, I got to stop giving away for free. It's like, no, there's a balance here. I need to harmonize and find that balance. So that's what I want to bring into 2024. I want to release the mental chatter and, all the craziness around that and move it into like, let's just, relax
I love
about
it.
that.
Yeah, I love that. Great. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
I'm ready to release, the hesitation of charging what I'm really worth.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Because you've been working on that for a while, Leah Beth, and
Yes, I have, and I'm really freaking done with that.
yeah,
And, so what I need to, I need to release that fear that, somebody's going to say, oh, no, I wouldn't charge that. I mean, I wouldn't pay that for you because, I, I have a messaging problem, but I think it's I think as light workers, we've all gotten the message that, well, gee, that's a gift. You should just give it away. It's like, I'm sorry, we have all these highly paid athletes. Should they just give their athletic prowess away? So, I mean, no, money's an energy thing, and the value of what you give should be congruent with what you get, and it's not.
right. And
I
I am a firm
way
believer that
overgive.
we were all given, my gift is creativity. And we were given gifts to support our lifestyle. Okay, to charge accordingly. Because if you're not charging accordingly, that upsets the energetic balance of the universe too. Like that's why you have such gifts, because you don't need to go out and get a job or do anything. Like everything is within you, and you need to value that, and other people have to value and pay. That's another soapbox, but you know what I mean, right? So yeah. So mindset shift, really, I think. How about you, Caroline?
I could very much relate to what I've heard here. The free versus paid, and to me, that kind of comes back to the energy of deserving. And so that much was helpful to sort of quantify that. Um, and the other round needing more certifications, me too. Oh, educated up the yin yang, and I've come to recognize I've got my nursing degree, and especially if I'm working with the professional realm, I feel that need to prove myself with science. And I say that I walk confidently between science and the metaphysical world. I think that's a really valuable trait that I have. But that proving piece, it's just like done already. I have what I need to serve anyone that would come my way. And very much around the hesitating what I'm worth. I had a situation I'll share very briefly, but I was working with somebody, and it only took one session. This person had stalled 2 years on writing the book that they wanted to write. And how could I put that out there? How much would that be worth to you if I could remove that block? And I'm not sure what the number would be, But that's the challenge of getting out there and saying, if I could do that for you, what would it be worth? And I have a hard time quantifying that as well. But how many people do you see that they'll go to a counselor, week after week or month after month, and they're throwing out that money, believing that they're going to get some great result at the end. And I feel that it can do such a bypass and really shortcut that and get right to the root of it. And how to get people to understand and believe that and being able to charge accordingly. So that's kind of what went through my mind as you ladies all shared.
So we'll talk about this tomorrow, but people want a quick win, and the quick win is the most valuable. As far as certifications go, please just stop. You don't need more certifications. Nobody cares about your certifications. It's more about your messaging, being able to show that you can get that result. I did and this is probably a good exercise for you to do. We're not going to do it now, but if you think back to 2019, before the pandemic, what was your life like then compared to now? And I did this exercise, and I was a ghostwriter for Podcast Magazine. I don't know if that's even in existence anymore, but that's a big thing. I was a certified launch coach. Do I even talk about that now? No. I became a digital something or other, certified digital something or other. I don't use that at all. So really, it's more about, and this is why I'm shifting a little bit to work with the more seasoned and really tap into your experience and your wisdom and all your life lessons, because that's what people want. And that's really worth the most. I mean, I'm a money breakthrough coach, right? And yes, I did it for a while there, but I don't want to do that now. I mean, we're always evolving and we grow out of that stuff. And especially when you get to a certain age. My other thing is that we need to all claim it. Just claim it. Like, you don't need a certification. Let the younger up and coming, newer entrepreneurs get the certifications. They can be in that place, but you're way beyond that. When you have spiritual gifts, especially, it's more about not that you need to hone your gifts more. You need to learn the skills that are going to allow you to attract the clients so you can serve more people. And that's the hardest issue, right? But it doesn't require more courses or this and that. It does require some skill. I'm not going to, lie about that, but there are certain things, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But so interesting to hear the whole certification conversation, because you are enough.
Well, we could probably all create a certification course or 2 or 4 or
Absolutely.
6.
But do you want to do that? Because, and that's the other
No,
thing, because
I don't
that's
think
a
so.
lot of work. And so the way to be successful in all these other areas is to have a proven offer. Now, this is different than a proven process. You all have a proven process. You're gifted, you get great results. You've got to prove your offer, which means that you've got to position it in a way that people know about it and they want it and they will pay for it. Because the fact that you get people results, that's not an issue. Don't work on that part of it. Work on getting you out there. That's what messaging is about, by the way. Getting you out there, reaching more people so you can work your magic on them, because you've already got the magic. So anyway, all right, let's get back to our goals. So let's release all that stuff and just let it go and just tap into who you are, your resources. You are highly resourced. This is a human design thing too. I mean, I've got the energy of power skills, so I know I'm highly resourced. I want to just address the ideas thing right now, because, and I'm trying not to talk too much about human design, but that is the tool that I use, and that changed my life. So one of my experiments for 2024 is, because I don't follow astrology, but I do follow human design. So one of my experiments is, because I've already been through the deconditioning, it's been over 7 years, is to really pay more attention to the planetary transits and what's going on in the collective. Right now, this week, the sun is in the gate of ideas. So I've been really, and I wrote in my email yesterday, you may not have gotten it if you're already signed up here, but I said ideas are a dime a dozen. And this is the biggest downfall I see with the clients I work with, because I'm a creative, I attract a lot of creatives. I was in that place too, where, starting a book, starting a book on crosswords, doing this, doing that. And then I just got to the point, I guess it was about 2 years ago, where I'm like, no, Caroline, yeah, this is a great idea, but what are the chances of you actually finishing that idea? No, work on what you already have started. Because when you finish things, that's where you create the space for more abundance to come in. So that's what today is about, really figuring out, where do you want to be in a year? What are those 3 areas that you can work on that are going to get you close to your vision? And then staying focused on that. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to do these little things, because we're all going to be thrown off course to some degree. I mean, I wrote a book this year. I wasn't planning on writing a book. I didn't publish it. I created a course. I had no idea, no intention of creating another course. But when someone said, well, you can create an email course, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly who I am and what I want to do. So I have this other asset, right? So, but it all starts with a plan. And then when my program didn't fill and I didn't have to spend that time in client delivery, that freed up a little bit more time to do something else. So if you get out your planner, I want you to choose the 3 big rocks for the year, your 3 big areas for your goals. Now, I want the first one to be a monetary goal, because you're all in business. If you're not paying attention to your money, then you'll end up giving stuff away for free. And I want you to, there's 3 types of goals, right? There are, I put it in categories, like the minimum goal. Say your minimum goal is 5,000 a month. And you can do months, you can do years. I suggest doing one for the year. So say your minimum is 50,000. That's what it's going to take for you to continue to pay your bills, run your business, that sort of thing. And then you have a realistic goal based on, and these are all projections, okay? Your realistic goal might be 75. And then your stretch goal might be 250. Now that's a big gap. So, and your money goal is personal to you, but think about it. What is the minimum amount that you want to make this year? But for your big vision, what is that big stretch goal? And keep in mind too, you could hit the lottery, you could become a millionaire, right? So always don't stay attached to any goals. That's really, really key as well. So yes, so the first goal is an income goal. Well, let's back up, because you want your larger objective for 2024, and that is up at the very, very top, right underneath the title. And what I put was my objective for 2024 is to position my brand because I'm rebranding to Goddess 55. So what is your big objective for the year? Is it a money goal? It can be a money goal. But is it something different? I mean, Caroline, if you are, I'm just using this as an example, if you're reaching out to people in your community, an objective might be to take your business online. Leah Beth, yours might be to focus more on your soul, longer term soul realignment packages overall. So the objective is really the bigger overall goal. It's not specific. It's just kind of, oh, I want to be a thought leader. That's an objective. Okay, I want to be seen as the top energy healer in my town or something like that. So that's where you start, right? So the goal, the 3 goals are going to position that. Number 1 should be a money goal. Number 2 should be it could be a project goal. Last year, I selected growth because I'm big on email. I had my list. Who has an email list here? Does everybody have an email list? I know Leah Beth does. Okay, would you like to start one? Okay. Caroline, how do you communicate with your people?
I don't have many people yet. And it feels like the group that I started with was primarily friends and relatives, and that's a small group, and they already know what I do. I don't want to keep on hounding them. My intent, I'm there to serve them whenever they're ready. I definitely would like to go bigger, and I just don't have those kinds of contacts.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's never too late to start.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's why I chose growth, because my list size hovers around 3,000, 3,200. I'd love to get it to 4,000, which is really more in alignment with what's going on now. I mean, anybody who started their online business 2000, 2003, you know, they have a list size of 10,000, 100,000, 80,000. That's not me. You don't need to have a big following nowadays. Quality over quantity, really. But you should have some kind of growth goal or project goal. And that is what I suggest for number 2. Who was it that said visibility? Was that you, Caroline? Yeah, so visibility, I had that down for my second goal at first, and then I changed it to growth. Mine are not set in stone right now, but that might be your second one, visibility. And then third, I like assets, because the women my clients are of a certain age. 2 years ago, I got real about, hey, Caroline, do you want to be doing this forever? I mean, you don't want to have to keep building. Assets are going to allow you to scale your business. That's how you scale. You put more automation into place, you stop creating so much, and you really bring all your wisdom together, put it into intellectual property, a book, a course, something that you can deliver without you being there. An asset is also a website. So that's on my plan for this year. An asset is a book. An asset can be a masterclass or a webinar that works. But the key is that you've got to dial it in so it is working for you. So just like a proven offer, right? Your marketing needs to be proven. And once it works for you, that becomes an asset. So where it says goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, just right next to it, I think I did put income in there. But what is your big category? I'm going to share my screen. Let me see, just for the okay, just for the people who are watching the replay, if you don't mind. Okay. All right, so let's just put some things in here. Overall objection is, I'm just going to say position, God, is 55. And you'll see that that entails a lot of different moving pieces, right? And then for the goal 1, I'm put the category. I'm just going to say 100,000. This should be a yearly goal. Goal 2, I'm going to put growth. Now you could put visibility, whatever, but you should have a category here. And then just make up to 4 areas where you want to grow. So I'm going to say email list, let's say 3,500, because I operate in a way that I clean my list quite often. So I keep it clean. So 3,500, I'm pretty much where I am, where I was last year at this time. So that's realistic. So remember what goals are, right? They're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, realistic, and time bound. I think I got that right. If I have that wrong, let me know. So I always get a little messed up with the A and the R. Okay, so let me see. Clients. For growth, I want to grow my list. I want to grow my client base because I really haven't spent a whole lot of time on that in 2023 because of everything that I rebranded some things. I let go of some programs. And then the third one, I'm going to say, or this could be summit interviews, something like that. But I'm really focused on visibility as well. I'm calling it growth, but it really is about visibility. So you might do something like that, Caroline. You might work on getting interviewed, getting featured on podcasts. That's totally doable for you. YouTube. I'm not saying start a YouTube channel, but reach out to people who are doing interviews. Okay. And then goal 3, for me, it's assets. So I want my new website done. I want to publish a book. I want to standardize 10 ingredients of an irresistible offer, which is what my email course is based on, but it's also the basic teachings of high-end messaging. And then I'm going to say high-end messaging marketing assets. So just so you have some perspective, the way I launch my programs is through emails, through a series of emails, and then I don't use sales pages. Because they're $2,000 or more, I extend an invitation via PDF. And this is something that I teach in Goddess 55 and in my program, High-End Messaging. That's why this makes it onto my assets list. Is this making sense to everybody? Okay. Would anybody like to share? You don't have to share your money goal, but for goal 2 or goal 3?
Well, I have a couple.
Would love to hear them.
For the growth or projects, and I'm kind of muddying the water here, but more leveraging of me, meaning, well, you know that I've done a little bit of this already. I've for my basic soul realignment reading, I now have 2 different videos explaining things that I always end up explaining when I, am talking to someone. And instead, they have to watch these 2 videos before we actually meet to cut down the amount of time that I'm
That's an asset.
So that's an asset.
Yeah,
Okay,
so the goals, just let me be clear. Goals are specific.
Right,
we're going to
right.
get
But we haven't had time to work into those yet, Caroline.
No, we're going to do that. So we're just getting the 3 big rocks, the areas, and then how can you list something that's specific there? Like my website is specific. There's not a number attached to it. A book is specific. I could say sell 100 books, but maybe that's for next year. I don't know. But just get that book published, right? Standardize 10 ingredients. We're creating assets here. This is intellectual property that you can sell, and it's making your life easier. You can automate it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have another one?
Well, hang on. Let's step back. Are you talking about specifically going over the 3 main goals? Did you want to talk about sub goals under the categories? What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I went the three categories.
The 3 goals.
Make sure
Okay.
you've got them in the right place.
Okay. All right.
Monetary. The Leah Beth, leverage is a great thing, but I think that the example you use is more of an asset, because assets allow you to leverage.
I agree, but I didn't understand what you were asking, Caroline.
Okay.
All right. So monetarily, I have a goal of $100,000 this year, and it can be a combination between the spiritual and my real estate business.
Okay, good.
And then under the second one, growth or project, I'm looking more at growth with, more emails, sign up more people, from different spheres in my life. I've tried a little bit of the free giveaway and sign up stuff, and I have crashed and burned on that. So, maybe work on that a little more. And then on growth, I think that redesigning my website is a growth thing rather than an intellectual process or property or asset, because I need to make it clear and crisp and not overwhelming with the, like 15 offers, whatever, on one page. So, so the growth would be to clarify and make it clear and crisp on my website about who I am, what I do, and, where you go from here instead of looking at a whole page of offers. And then intellectual property, get my 3 books published and write a second pendulum course.
Okay. Okay, just make sure that they're specific.
Well, we haven't had time to do that yet. We're working.
Okay. Does everybody else have any questions about that? You're all good with that? Because I'd like to move on to the next one. Okay, you okay, Bethany? Okay. So those are the 3 big areas that you want to, that are going to support your main objective, which for me, it's, establish my brand. Now, from here, you're going to chunk those goals down into quarterly achievements and milestones. Okay? All right. So what you do here is the quarter dates. We're all working from January 1st to March 31st, basically, right? Right here, I think I left it blank on yours, but what is the category? Milestone 1 for quarter 1 is for income. And then let's say, so the way I talk about income is new money, because we might have, I don't know, Social Security coming in. We might have recurring payments. Recurring payments are great, but if somebody joins your $20,000 program in January, you're going to count that, even if they're paying you $2,000, only $2,000 in January, okay? So it gets a little bit tricky there. So you've got to do it however you want to do it. But I'm going to say, because my goal is 100,000, so for first quarter, I'm going to say 25,000. Okay. And then for this category here, which is going to be growth, let me just make sure I'm not. Darn. I'm writing on the wrong one. Okay. I'm going to have my stuff in there. Sorry. Okay. So then my category is growth, and I'm going to say add, I'm just going to keep it simple, 20 subscribers. But it's worth of, if I get more, that's great. Assets. Launch website. I mean, I should have done that last year, but I didn't. So I've got to carry it over now. All right. So you've got the quarterly goals that are going to support your big goals, right? So everybody got that? All right. So this is what you're going to be working on, your priority for Q1. Now, how do you get there? You're going to break these down into monthly goals for the quarter. That is, what are you going to work on in January, in February, and in March? And probably you're going to work a little bit on something that's going to relate to all of those goals So you want to map it out. Now it's really about prioritizing too. We're not going to map the weekly or the daily. You're going to do that on your personal planner or calendar. But the way we do it for this purpose is you write the month. The month is January. What is your first milestone? You want to always start with the money, because everything you do is going to bring you income, right? If you don't start with the money, then, and like I said in the beginning, don't beat yourself up if you don't make your monetary goals. But you could hit the lottery. You could make $1 million in Q1. You could get a windfall. It's happened to me. Okay, it's happened to me several years that I've gotten unexpected money and I exceeded my goals because of that. It didn't necessarily come into my business, but that means I didn't have to work for it, right? Just like a new kitchen. All right, so January, I'm going to say 8,000, just to break it up, because I do have some recurring income coming in. Strategy 1, how am I going to get to that 8,000? I am going to fill Goddess 55 with, and I'm just putting this out here, with 4 clients at, let's say, I'm doing an inaugural thing, so I'm going to say for 2K. All right. My tactic, the tactic is the marketing that you're going to do. So to fill Goddess 55 with 4 clients, I'm going to do my 10-day email unlaunch. So what tasks are going to support that? That is, what does an unlaunch entail? I have to write the emails, right? Well, first I have to create my content map. Then I have to write emails. One of the things I can do is I can, see what worked in 2022, 23, because I already wrote these emails. Some of them got a good response, others didn't. So I'm not really starting from scratch. So that's one of the other things I can do. So I'm creating my content map, which is going to give me the flow of what to talk about in my emails. I'm going to actually write the emails. I'm going to see what worked, try to, use some of those emails. Of course, I have to send the emails. That's kind of a no-brainer. But what else can I do to support that 10-day unlaunch? I'm going to have to update the PDF invite. I'm going to have to update the payment page. And I'm going to have to do one-to-one reach out, because I have some warm clients who might be interested, right? It's always about a mixture of things. Now, do I want to do a live launch in conjunction with this? No. But that's something that I could have done, right? So these are all the aligned tasks that I'm going to do. And these will show up on my daily calendar. Not all at once, because I say pick 3 each day, and they can come from any of your tactics. By when? I want to start on January 8th. So this will be done by then. So it's actually starting now. Does it all make sense? Do you want to try one? Take a few minutes, take 5 minutes and try it for yourself. Just so you have the hang of it.
Are you talking about doing the quarter, or are you talking about breaking it down smaller?
The month and the quarter. So you're going to have your priorities in January. You're going to have your overall quarterly priorities, right? Like, and I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow. You should be launching once a quarter. I mean, how are you going to reach your monetary goals if you're not launching? And launching looks different to everybody. That's a broad term that, you know, doesn't mean you have to do a webinar or a challenge or anything like that. Maybe, Caroline, you're picking up the phone and calling 10 people. And remember, this is just directing your energy to something, right? And like I said, go easy on yourself. Don't make it too complicated. It looks complicated because it's a lot of stuff that you're doing. I'm going to give you another example. Let's do growth. Okay. So I want 20 new subscribers. Not a lot, right? Strategy. Create presence on LinkedIn. What is the tactic? It's, you know, connect with more people. What are some tasks that I can do? I'm going to share my e-zine on Fridays. I'm going to post a comment once a week. And then I'm going to comment on others' posts 3 times a week. So you see, that's pretty easy. I already write my e-zine. I just have to put it in, because I'm in creator mode, put it on LinkedIn. I can post a comment. I'm not really that savvy in LinkedIn, but I can post a comment once a week. And I can comment on others' posts 3 times a week. And I can invite them, and then I can say, you know, share link to my freebie, the lead magnet, with, let's say, 20 people. But let's say 40 people somehow. Because once I get 20, I've met my goal, and then I can just stop, right? That's a nice thing about meeting your goals. You don't have to keep going. By when? I'm going to say by January 31st. So this is something I'm doing ongoing for the month. And the goal is pretty small. It's 20 subscribers. And those subscribers might come from somewhere else. I mean, Leah Beth, you, because you're in Goddess 55, I will mail for you. So that's part of your growth. That's a strategy. Get Carol Ann to mail for me, right? So what would all those things be that support that? So you might get 40 subscribers just from that. So what would you have to do? You would have to write the copy for me. And if you already have a lead magnet, then you don't have to do anything there. You might want to update your nurture sequence. Okay, I'm going to do one more, okay? So my category is assets. And what do I want to do in Q1 is I want to launch my website. But my strategy now is complete first draft for Sherry, because that's who's doing it. So my tactic is write copy. So my aligned tasks are write homepage, write about page, write descriptions for offers that are going to go on the page. I get 5 pages, so I'm going to do 5 different things, right? Write work with me page. And then I'm going to decide on the blog. This shouldn't take more than 2 weeks if I focus on it, right? Because remember, the LinkedIn thing isn't going to take me a whole lot of time. Once I feel God is 55, I'm just delivering it. That's not more marketing. That's client delivery. Client delivery is not a goal. So the bulk of my time is going to be devoted to writing my website copy. So I'm going to give myself 2 weeks. So let's say January 15th. And so you see, I have all these tasks from these 3 areas, my goals that are supporting my goals. And every day I will choose 3 tasks and get something done. Now, things come up, right? I mean, you might have to babysit and you're not going to be doing your task. Like, you've got to give yourself some grace. And you certainly don't want to overstuff your week either with to-dos. The whole idea is to do what it takes to achieve your goals. That's what it means to be aligned. So you're not going off into a bunch of different directions. Bethany, when you get an idea, you say, okay, that's a great idea. I can table that for later. That's what you need to do with ideas. We are all stewards of our ideas. Our ideas are not all meant for us. And if you're working with clients, for me, I channel a lot. And so a lot of my ideas are for them. It's something you learn.
Carol Ann,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to leave because it's been 90 minutes.
Oh, it has? Okay. I'm covering up my thing.
So the question is, I mean, it appears that probably we all ought to work on, kind of fleshing this stuff out.
Yes, absolutely. That's going to be your homework. Yeah. Would it help if I send you my example? The one that I work now? Okay.
I mean, you can, it has to look like me and yours doesn't
Well,
look.
no, I just, yeah, so
Okay.
just so you can look at it. Of course, I don't want you to copy it. Let me see. Somebody did post in the chat. Oh, okay. I see that. Yeah. So you said this in the beginning. I didn't see this, Caroline. You have a fear of being disappointed wound. Yeah. I think we all do. You know,
That just around the initial goals, right? Playing it small, why bother? Not going to pay off anyways. Yeah.
yeah.
Why-
Fear of
why-
rejection.
Yeah.
all
Why
that
put myself through that? Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good reason to write a book. Because, and this is where I'm headed, because you don't have to deal with the sales part. You let your assets speak for you.
Thank you.
Because what I'm working on this year, overthinking. No, really, I realize that that's where my biggest conditioning lays. Overthinking, having all the answers. I could talk about this forever, but. Okay, I'm going to stop the share. So everybody who's watching the recording, the homework is to take this form and fill it out as best as you can. And we're going to meet here tomorrow, and we're going to talk about how to get to your goals a little bit more.
Sounds great. Thank you.
I'm just going to stop. I mean, you don't have to leave yet, but just let me stop the recording.